I'm Mark Rowe. I'm a lead model designer for LEGO Systems here in Enfield, Connecticut's model shop. I've been working here for about 25 years.
My name is Mike Provenzano. I am a model designer in the Enfield model shop. I've been here for 8 years.
We're here to talk about our new model for San Diego Comic-Con, which is Batman, based off of the Detective Comics 1000. It's a variant cover.
I designed the mural behind Batman.
I did the Batman in front of the mural. Mike is actually an expert on murals, so to save time, because we were in a tight time frame, I've given up the mural portion to Mike, who's much better than I am at it. We started with the design, I guess more on the three-dimensional Batman because we had to get the size, so the scale was important to see how large I should blow up the mural so it matched the same size as what the Batman is. So Batman is about 6'4". So the Batman that was on the cover that he's standing in front of had to be about 6'4" also.
A mural is pretty much just pixel art. So I have a very limited color palette and I can force that into the artwork. So we start with an image and then we translate that image into the specific LEGO color palette. And then from there we go and clean it up, essentially brick by brick, one brick at a time, making sure that the artwork looks, as good as it can.
I am Jahala Dufort. I am a model builder in the Enfield model shop and I've been building models for 6 years. For this model, we did build straight from the bottom of his feet right to the top of his head with the exception of the hands and his head. So the hands were built off to the side up to about his elbows, and then we inserted those once we got to the part of the steel where those attach. The head is built separately for ease of access a lot of times. It's a lot easier to build when it's right in front of you instead of up above you. And there's usually quite a lot of detail in faces, and that means a lot of plate, and it takes a little bit longer. And this way we can just put that cap right on and it's all done and it looks great.
The most interesting details in this model were probably the bat ears and the nose portion because of the unique elements that we use in those areas.
Personally, the multiple Batmans I think is the coolest part of the mural, just because I'm a bit of a Batman fanboy. So.
The most interesting part of this model would probably be the belt and the buckle. A lot of times we do stuff like this out of plate so that we get a little bit more detail. This design was actually all brick and you are still able to get a good amount of detail into that.
The most challenging part is actually the smallest items in the mural. So the smaller an object is in the mural, the less resolution we have to work with. So the hardest things are the smallest things.
Our models are not totally solid Lego. They have steel skeletons on the inside that we build around to add support. For this particular build, some of the steel didn't fit quite right, and when that happens, we just have to grind down some edges and make sure that it does fit in there.
Because we added the cape last minute, it really increased the amount of time that was going to take on the build.
So initially, the Batman model was going to blend into the mural. So the size of the Batman model needed to be the same size as the Batman in the mural, so that way they work together as a unit. But it was decided they wanted to potentially use these models in 2 different places. So for the flexibility of that, the cape was added, but the models are still actually, relationship-wise, the same size.
This model was actually quite simple to build for its size because it is actually symmetrical from the middle. Right and left are exactly the same, which makes it very nice for building because you can grab 2 and you know that you've got the right and left side. And then as long as you're working with your team and keeping good communication going, the whole model will end up being almost perfectly symmetrical.